I am Anubis. I have fought on 1,000 battlefields across the dark ages of the gaming industry. From the era of raw pixels and physical cartridges to the modern landscape of high-walled digital fortresses. I have witnessed the collapse of formats, the rise and fall of console empires, and the evolution of the global market from simple retail trades into a multi-billion-dollar corporate ecosystem. I know the exact mechanics of this battlefield, the current outcry surrounding the industry, the banners of "Speak with your wallet," and the campaigns demanding the destruction of the console market is an absolute fabrication built on emotion rather than cold, hard economic data. Act I, the whale economy and the Midgar complex. I recognize that the modern gaming market is not a democracy where every consumer carries equal weight. The premium AA development model is a massive leviathan, devouring 5 to 7 years of intense labor and hundreds of millions of dollars just to launch a single flagship title. A standard box copy cannot sustain the sheer financial weight of these operations. Instead, this entire ecosystem is bankrolled by the chosen few. The whales, a mere 5% of the global player base, generates the overwhelming majority of profit through microtransactions, cosmetics, and seasonal battle passes. The casual masses who purchase annual entries to franchises like Call of Duty or mainstream sports simulations do not participate in online boycotts or read community forums. They simply pay for entry, log in, and play. The digital marketplace operates exactly like Midgar. Sony built the infrastructure, laid the plates, and controls the flow of revenue from the top down. A 30% commission is collected on every digital transaction and microtransaction within that ecosystem to keep the platform operational. When a game fails to meet financial projections, corporate leadership does not interpret a boycott as a demand for deep artistic narratives. They recognize it as a dead genre, terminate the development team, and pivot to a mobile extraction shooter. Choice is curated from the top. When regulators and antitrust courts demand that I drop legal technicalities and explain the system in plain terms, I present the reality of the proprietary ecosystem. PlayStation operates exactly like a private amusement park. Decades of heavy capital investment, continuous research and development, and extreme financial risk were required to build the infrastructure, construct the platform, and secure the network against external security threats. Because that platform was built through private capital, the creator maintains absolute sovereignty over the storefronts and concession stands inside. The legal claims that a closed digital store is a monopoly fall apart against basic market realities. The market is highly fluid and competitive. If a consumer objects to the pricing structure inside the park, the gates are open to alternative options. Microsoft's platform, Nintendo's hybrid ecosystem, or the open wilderness of the PC architecture. Furthermore, the strategic transition to phase out physical discs by 2028 is a direct response to manufacturing realities and shifting consumer behavior. A private enterprise cannot be legally compelled to manufacture an obsolete physical commodity against its business judgment. When a consumer purchases a game digitally, they're buying a non-exclusive license to access that software under explicit terms of service. They do not own the physical medium. The hardcore, anti-console faction of PC purists actively roots for the downfall of the console market, believing that if platforms like PlayStation disappear, the industry will naturally migrate to an open PC architecture where they will be vindicated. Hail to the king, baby. But they are completely blind to the macroeconomics of the industry. They are actively praying for the arrival of sin, a catastrophic cycle of structural destruction that will collapse the entire medium. Consoles provide a fixed, unchanging hardware target in the fog of war. Developers know the exact configuration of the CPU, GPU, RAM, and SSD they are coding for. Without the baseline established by console generations, developers would be forced to optimize exclusively for an infinite, chaotic combination of PC hardware components. Technical optimization would hit a brick wall. The shader compilation stutters and broken ports that currently plague PC releases would become the permanent, universal state of gaming. The mainstream consumer does not want to troubleshoot drivers or combat rampant cheating. They want a system that turns on instantly and functions under the TV. Furthermore, the revenue pool generated within the locked walls of the PlayStation Network is the primary engine funding the massive, high-budget blockbusters that PC players eventually want ported to their own rigs. Take down the console pillar, and the cash flow vanishes. Publishers will not create deeper PC exclusives. They will retreat entirely into low-budget, free-to-play noble extractions.
Act I, the systemic collapse of the realm.
The global ledger confirms the sheer scale of this infrastructure. Sony commands nearly half of the global console market share, maintaining a decisive grip on the premium home console space. The PlayStation Network tracks a massive baseline of approximately 125 million active monthly users. This is the central nervous system of the premium gaming industry. If PlayStation were to pull out of the territory tomorrow, it would trigger a systemic, apocalyptic collapse across the entire entertainment sector. Major third-party publishers rely on this predictable ecosystem to achieve profitability on high-budget campaigns. Generation-defining titles like Grand Theft Auto VC depend heavily on the day-one install base of the console market to recoup their staggering budgets. Without it, the capital required for blockbuster development disappears overnight, leading to immediate studio closures and mass bankruptcies. The ultimate irony would land directly on the legal system. The very regulators currently suing to break open the closed garden would instantly face a genuine crisis. With PlayStation removed from the board, Microsoft's Xbox would hold 100% monopoly over the high-end living room console space, forcing courts to invent entirely new emergency frameworks to regulate the sole remaining titan. The critics claim they want total freedom, but they cannot survive the wilderness that follows a structural collapse. They demand the high-end cinematic scale of Final Fantasy Decide and X, the high-stakes tactical execution of the Division's PvP Dark Zone, where the strongest extract the best loot from the bosses and the absolute polish of a finely tuned war machine. Yet, they refuse to recognize the economic infrastructure required to fund it. The closed garden remains standing because it is the foundation and pillar preventing the mainstream industry from collapsing into chaos. The math does not lie, the market dynamics do not bend, and Anubis can't be stopped. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and keep your eyes peeled because the Patreon is dropping soon. You already know the drill. Stay locked in, stay tuned, and remember, Anubis can't be stopped.